All right, I'd like to call to order the Middletown City Council meeting for Tuesday, June 1st, 2021. And let's start with a moment of meditation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, Ms. Cohen, will you please call the roll for us tonight?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Vittori.
Here.
Ms. Nenny.
Here.
Mr. Moon.
Here.
Mayor Condrey.
Here.
Mr. Mulligan is not able to be here this evening.
I'd like to make a motion to excuse Mr. Mulligan from the meeting.
Second?
Ms. Cohen, will you please call the roll for us?
Yes. Mayor Condrey.
Yes.
And Mr. Moon.
Yes.
Ms. Nenny.
Yes.
Ms. Vittori.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, this evening we are going to start with a presentation from Mr. Keith Crothers with Central Connections. Good evening. You know what? We need to turn your microphone on there. Can you press that little button right there? I think everybody will be able to.
That does help, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So I just want to come and give an update of Central Connections. My name is Keith Crothers, and I'm the new Executive Director of Central Connections, and new as 3 months new, but it's exciting. So I just wanted to share with you. So we are a whole person wellness agency. We promote philosophy of whole person wellness, focusing on 6 dimensions of wellness: emotional, intellectual, physical, social, spiritual, and vocational, and meeting people age 50 plus where they live in their life. One of the things I kind of wanted to share, a lot of people since I've been here think that we are a residential facility, and we are not a residential facility, but we are a senior center. Next slide. So this is who we serve. In 2020, we have 720 members ages 50 plus in 36 zip codes in Ohio, mainly in Butler and Warren County. 72% of those zip codes is in Middletown, 3% in Trenton, 10% in Franklin, 6% in Monroe, and 20% of Middletown population is the age of 60 and plus. These are some programs that we serve, that we provide at Central Connections: our Silver Sneaker exercise class, arts and crafts, billiards room, wellness and fair education, volunteer opportunities, and a fitness room. These are also some of our community collaborations. A lot of these agencies are partnered with and has also been a big part of our success. So in 2020, during COVID-19, we were able to still employ all 34 of our staff. So in 2020, we do home delivered meals, and we did 148,450 for the whole entire year, which averaged about 12,372 for the month. Oh, go back, I'm sorry. We also do what we call Congruent Meals, where the seniors will come every Thursday to the facility and receive 5 meals and 5 drinks. During that time, we did 111,000 as well, which averaged 9,284. The Congruent Meals has decreased to about 75 every Thursday, so this was during COVID. Transportation services, we did 6,416 medical and non-medical trips. We like to the pharmacy, the grocery store, averaged about 535 trips per month, and 75% are then Middletown zip codes. And then we have a supportive service agency, or part of our agency as well. They do home visits. We also do HEAP applications, city water discounts, vision assistance, and then other aids. And we did 200, average of 17 clients per month, and 98% of those also were Middletown zip codes. So due to the increased need for more meals, we were able to continue to employ, like I said, the 34 employees. So our Congruent Meals program increased from 547 clients and 14,953 meals between March 1st and September the 30th of 2019, to 690 clients and 82,000 meals in 2020, which just represents a 26% increase in clients and a 553.5% increase in the meals. Of the 690 Congruent clients receiving Congruent Meals, an average of 200 cars came to the parking lot every Thursday to pick up their meals. And of course, some seniors are also picking up the Congruent Meals for a spouse or a neighbor as well. However, as I said a few minutes ago, that has decreased to about 75 every Thursday. Next slide, please. So moving forward, we are projected to increase home-delivered meals to over 28,000 in this year alone. We are looking at probably opening 3 to 4 new home-delivered routes to the seniors, and then 1 to 2 new routes in transportation. And then we have a grand reopening cookout set for June the 25th, starting at noon, and you all are welcome to come. And until whatever happens tomorrow as far as what the governor's new order is, we will reopen on Monday 28th and phase in by appointment only. And I want to thank Madam Mayor, City Council, and the City Manager's Office for the funds towards our walk-in freezer and roof the last time I was here, and I appreciate that. We also want a special thanks to the citizens of Middletown. We were able to pay off our mortgage on May 1st of this year due to we are most grateful for the years of support from the tax levy. So that's great news for us. Also, I thought I'd just throw this in there. We provide room rental, and we have our catering, Indulge Catering, and we're one of the largest venues for rental space and catering. Thank you so much for allowing me to come today and just give you a short update.
When you say room rental, is that like a facility for an event? You're not talking about lodging again, right?
For an event, whether it be a wedding. Actually, Kiwanis and Rotary, when we were fully open, rented our space every week as well.
Mr. Carruthers, just curious, but first, welcome to town. Look forward to seeing you more as things get going again. But just curious how you covered the increase in meals. I mean, are you guys building those meals in-house?
Yes, we actually have a full-size commercial kitchen.
Right.
And currently, right now, we do about 9,000 meals a month. And we actually prepare the meals right there at Central Connections. And then they package it, and then we have a machine that seals wraps it, and then we put it in the freezer. Some people receive frozen meals, and some people receive daily hot meals.
That's incredible that you could turn that many meals around.
Yes.
Especially with the increase in food cost and supplies and just everything across the board. That's really impressive.
Thank you.
Obviously, you came in this COVID situation, so I'm sure you've been overwhelmed with lots of things. But I am curious going forward, when I was in DC and worked in DC government, and across the country, there's been a lot of really great outcomes from cross-generational work in places like senior spaces. So they'll do some programming with kids. So I just wondered if for 2022, let's get through this year, but if that's something, because we're obviously talking about programming for children as well, and I know in DC, we use the senior center to do some programming after school with kids, and there are all these great outcomes for both the senior citizens and the children, so I wouldn't just put that out there, maybe it's something to look at for 2022 and beyond.
Yeah, and actually, we've just recently partnered with Marshall High School, and they're providing students to come and do some volunteering and helping us with packing the meals and packing the meals and also helping with the meals. So.
Awesome.
Great. Well, welcome and thank you very much. And we'll see you on June 25th right there. Thank you. Next up, we have citizen comments. We have one comment this evening from Chris Beatty. And can you please state your name and address for the record?
Chris Batty, 128 Marymount Court. So 2 weeks ago, I stood here and proposed that City Council approve an ordinance that would nullify all illegal mandates from the governor's office in order to protect the freedom of all the citizens of Middletown in the future, basically to use the home rule power appropriately and abide by the Constitution. The city's law firm's response to my written proposal is concerning and false, so I want to point out those 5 points here. 1, he wrote, if the city attempts to exercise its home rule authority to conflict with COVID-19 orders, it would likely be found to be an improper use of the city's home rule power. To this I say, COVID-19 orders are not law. His very wording confirms this. Home rule authority is law if it is using the Constitution as the foundation for its opposing arguments, which my proposed ordinance does. 2, he wrote, when the state passes a general law, a municipality cannot then enforce local police, sanitary, and other regulations that conflict with that general law. To this I say, the state did not pass any laws relating to these face masks, social distancing, closures, vaccinations, etc. They were all illegal mandates from non-legislative entities with no enforceable authority. And even if the state did pass such legislation, it would not pass constitutional standards of individual rights per the First, Fourth, and the Fifth Amendments. Neither state nor federal law can conflict with or violate the principles set forth in the Constitution, or it becomes what the founders described as pretend legislation. Please see Declaration of Independence grievances number 13 and 19 as a reference. Third, he wrote, the orders issued by the Department of Health are most certainly general laws. To this I say, this is patently false, as noted in my prior statements concerning who makes the laws and what that law must conform to, which is the Constitution. Number 4, in summary, he wrote, if the city wants to challenge these orders, suit should be filed to request the order be declared unconstitutional. To this I say, a city ordinance is clearly supported by the 10th Amendment. Cities are the lesser magistrates described here. Any powers not specifically given to the federal government are reserved for the states or the people. The powers used with the governor or health department illegal mandates are not specifically given. In fact, they are prohibited from making law. And therefore, the people have the power to ignore or nullify them, particularly if they are unconstitutional in this case. Fifth and lastly, in summary, he wrote, DeWine has already revoked some of the health orders, and the end is near, and we can hopefully return to normal soon. To this I say, the governor revoking something he had no power to demand in the first place is no excuse for his law-breaking demands. These statements underscore our constitutional argument. Normal is when our rights are protected, not violated. We don't need the governor's permission to make personal freedom or health decisions. His removal of unlawful mandates is not the end, but rather when the Constitution is respected and these shutdowns are never implemented again. We need protection from unconstitutional power grabs, and I'm here today to empower you with this information to act on behalf of Middletonians, to do your duty and uphold your oath of office and the Constitutions to pass this ordinance to protect the people of this city in the future. So I ask you, will you?
I'm definitely going to have another look at it for sure. And I am grateful for you educating us on all of this, because I think it's really important that we protect our freedoms. And sometimes we just take things for words that are put out there and we accept it too much. And so I appreciate your challenge. And I'm sure we're all going to read it again and have a good look.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next, we have council comments. Let's start with Ms. Ninny.
I don't have much. We have a short agenda tonight, but I would like to just thank everybody who came out for the parade yesterday. I know I was not able to make it, but it looked like it was a great time enjoyed by the citizens of Middletown. And I just want to put my thanks out there for everyone who organized and came, and to our police and fire for being there. I've already heard from several citizens about how nice it was to see everybody out again. So happy Memorial Day, and thank you to everyone who served and everyone who lost their life serving our country. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moon.
Yes, I agree with Ms. Ninny, and will echo her comments on the parade, and certainly a heartfelt thank you to all our veterans and those that have served over the years. And thank you to the Lewises for helping put this on. Wanted to mention two other items. The loss of Guy Stone, former council member. I meant to mention this last week, but wanted to pass along my sympathy to his family. Guy was a fellow Quanon, and just an incredible man, just very generous, served on council for 12 years, and you would just never meet a kinder soul than Guy. So my sympathies to his wife and his family. The last thing I wanted to mention was the paving kickoff that I believe we were all at. Just a great event, well run by staff. Thank you for all your time and effort in that, and certainly an exciting 2 years we're going to have here. So that's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you. Ms. Vittori?
I would echo the thanks to the parade committee and the Lewises and all the volunteers. They did a really good job of getting everybody out again. It was really fun to be there. It wasn't too hot. It did go at quite a clip this year, I would say. Councilman Mulligan and I were double timing it to get through, but it was a really nice event, and I was glad to be there. And then I also just wanted to mention that this Friday is First Friday downtown again, so we're starting to see people back out again, and obviously we have businesses that are open downtown and opening, and they'd all love to see you come down, and I think I don't even know what the theme is, I forget. It's something about teachers in schools, and I apologize for not knowing more, but if you go to the Downtown Middletown Inc. page, you can get more information about that event. That's it.
Thank you. And I also want to thank the parade committee. They're incredible. They do, selfless service to our city, and what a great job they did. Man, there was an incredible turnout, so it was awesome. And I don't have anything else to add to that. That brings us to our city manager report. Mr. Palahniuk.
Yes, Madam Mayor, City Council members, good evening. On our consent agenda this evening, under item F, we are asking you to extend the existing contract with Safe Skies LLC for FBO services because their contract has expired the end of May. And to that end, because that is a short-term extension just to continue for a few months until we select a new permanent FBO, I wanted to give you an update on where we are in selecting that new FBO. We had done a request for proposals and qualifications, received all those back. We had scheduled the 4 responsive proposer entities to come in. We interviewed each of those last week by a committee made up of both members of the Airport Commission as well as staff. Those are all complete. We've scored those. We will get back together this week, and we hope to select a single entity that we will then negotiate with and hopefully bring you back a proposal to enter into a contract with. I'm thinking probably, hopefully by the first meeting in July. So while we have asked for an extension for as many as 4 months, we certainly don't believe that it will require that, but we just wanted to play safe. So I want to bring you up to speed on that. Also, we noted in an email last week, we're looking for 2 special sessions of City Council next week. Hopefully on Tuesday, June 8th, we could have a session for the Oakland revitalization, the neighborhood revitalization Route 4 corridor. We've been looking forward to talk about that and give you a presentation and make that open to the public. And then possibly June 10th, we were looking for an executive session, special session, to give you an update on Project Celluloid. We will have developer David Rocci in town on the 9th and the 10th, and leaving on Friday the 11th. So hopefully we can do something during that time frame to be able to not only have you all have a special session, an executive session, but also have a Port Authority meeting during the day. So if we could, I'd hope that we can set those 2 meetings for next week. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Cohen, could you please present the consent agenda for us this evening?
Yes, Your Honor. Tonight for your consideration on the consent agenda is to receive and file board and commission minutes for the Planning Commission on April 14th, 2021, the Civil Service Commission of April 22nd, 2021, to receive and file an oath of office for Jennifer Lyons, to confirm the appointment of Chelsea Spurlock to the position of Human Resources Clerk in the Department of Administrative Services, Division of Human Resources, to confirm the promotional appointment of Sarah Baker to the position of Executive Account Clerk in the Department of Finance, Division of Tax, to proclaim June as Pride Month, and to approve a contract with Safe Skies Aviation LLC to provide fixed base operator services at the Middletown Regional Airport on a month-to-month basis in an amount not to exceed $72,000.
This is where Joe says something every meeting.
Yes,
Says,
we would first need a motion to accept the consent agenda.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Oh, that's all? Okay, I thought he had a longer
He usually
thing.
has a sense of
We don't have
like,
an emergency.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was something more for this. We miss Joe when
I
he's
moved
not
to
here for that
adopt.
Consent
purpose.
agenda, we
He's
just
got
need
it
a motion
down.
to adopt in a
Got
second.
it.
So if we can't, we can proceed to a vote if you'd like.
Great, yes, please.
Fantastic. Ms. Nenny?
Yes.
Mr. Moon?
Yes.
Mayor Condrey?
Abstain.
Okay, and Ms. Vittori?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, and Ms. Bretland, I believe you will be presenting the legislation for us this evening?
Yes, I will. Thank you. There are 3 items of legislation on tonight's agenda. The first is ordinance number O-2021-47, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a small business grant agreement with LubriSource, Inc., here tonight for a second reading.
So move for adoption.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Okay, Ms. Cohen, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Moon,
Yes.
Mayor Condrey,
Yes.
Ms. Nenny,
Yes.
Ms. Vettori.
Yes.
Thank you.
Second is ordinance number O 2021-48, an ordinance establishing a procedure for and authorizing a contract with DBT Transportation Services LLC for the purchase and installation of a CL31 ceilometer for the automated weather observing system at the airport, here for a second reading.
So move for adoption.
Second?
Any comments or questions? Okay, Ms. Cohen.
Mayor Condrey,
Abstain?
Ms. Vettori,
Yes.
Ms. Nenny,
Yes.
Mr. Moon.
Yes.
Okay.
Ordinance number O 2021-49, an ordinance establishing a procedure for and authorizing a contract with Electric Motor Technologies LLC for the repair of a blower motor at the water reclamation facility, here for a first reading.
Mr. Palanick, would you care to comment about this one?
Yes, Madam Mayor, members of City Council. This is blower motor 3 at the wastewater treatment plant and/or water reclamation facility, depending on how you want to phrase it. 3 of 5. There has been a number of issues with this motor needed to be immediately repaired, rebuild, so we sent that off to get done. So one of the items here is actually waiving the bidding process because the first entity that we sent it to provided us a bid to do the work at $30,825. We then sought out another bid, which was over $35,000, so recognize that by having to actually move it, the cost of moving and bidding, we know that there would be no greater or no better pricing for it. So we're asking you both to waive the bidding process and to consider awarding this contract in an amount of $30,825 to do a necessary repair and rebuild of this particular blower motor. Also, an item here is for a supplemental appropriation. We would be asking to use the $24,000 that we received in insurance reimbursement that was to go toward the repairs of the biosolids barn. To put toward this, we aren't actually using it to replace the biosolids barn because our in-house folks actually found a better way to modify the circumstances by building concrete barriers. It works better. So there would be no need to replace this barn, and that way the $24,000 can go toward this particular project.
Mr. Palanick, have we asked the insurance company if they're still going to cut the check if we don't use it on the covered item?
I would refer that to Scott. I'm guessing he would have an
And it's a
answer.
first reading. If we need to check on it, we
Yeah.
have that time. Sounds good.
Good question from the insurance guy.
Experience matters.
Thank you. New business?
I had a couple of things that people have just been asking, so I thought I would ask, and if you need to get back to us, that's great. But I know there's been equipment outside of Lincoln Schools, so people keep asking me, when's the demo? When's the demo? I don't know if we have a date, but it is a question I keep getting.
The contract is underway. The first part that they were required to do was the asbestos abatement. So they have been working on the asbestos abatement inside for a couple of weeks, it seems. As soon as that's complete, they will begin demolition. That's why you see the equipment there. So it literally could begin almost any time. I haven't checked in the last few days to see where they are on the abatement.
Okay. Maybe we could do a post once we know.
Okay,
Just keep asking.
we will check.
In connection with that, I think there was some concern from citizens in that neighborhood that the alleyways were not being addressed because of the potential of this being impending. So I know that that was in connection, that there was an alleyway concern for trash.
Oh, with trash? Okay, trash.
I think that's why people are excited for it to get moving.
Yeah. To that same point, I had a couple questions, and I know Councilman Mulligan did as well, about the traffic study, which I know has kind of moved around now, but there have been a couple of people, and I know things where the answer has been, we're waiting on the traffic study. I think both with road diet, which I know we talked about, and a couple people have asked about in conjunction now with paving. People have come back to that, and then just a couple other places where I think people have had concerns and just wanted to know an update on that. So that's not something that I would expect to have an answer on today. But if we can be able to give people some sense of,
When we say traffic, that was sort of the overall comprehensive transportation study, right?
yes. And I
Okay,
know that's kind of moved around. It got delayed for COVID. I think now it might have moved around again. So just to be able to answer people's questions about road diet and how it relates to paving. And then I think some people have had just concerns about certain traffic issues across town. And in the past, we've kind of said we're waiting for the study. So I just want to be able to give them an updated answer. If we are still waiting for the study, but if it's now at a different time frame, how we can answer people's questions. So whenever you have a chance, that's not something I need a immediate answer on.
okay. We will do that.
That's all for me.
I had a follow-up from last meeting, and if it's in our inbox, I apologize. If it's not, then I'm asking it now. Do we have an update on the liability associated with the private security contract with DMI? I know last 2 weeks ago, I know Susan said you'd get back to us about any potential liability to the city.
I do not have an update. I apologize. That probably slipped my mind that you were looking for a response. I will get one to you this week.
Okay.
My apologies.
No problem. I just
Yeah.
came up to my mind. I thought might as well ask because it'd be good to know.
Apparently, I didn't get that in my notes. I apologize.
Okay. Great. Anybody else? Any input?
I guess I would ask, is there any, first of all, any objections to the Tuesday, June 8th, for the meeting at 5:30 here on the Oakland neighborhood revitalization, State Route 4 corridor issues? And then secondly would be the setting of an executive special session, hopefully on the 10th. And then what time would you prefer having that? And that would be for the Riverfront Redevelopment Project celluloid update.
I guess my question on the 8th is, would that be better served to have a meeting in that neighborhood, just to make it easier for people in that neighborhood to attend? I know they've been doing their meetings at St. John's Church. I'm just thinking about people's
It's up to
lives.
you all. I mean, we could check in certainly to some venue, some place there that
It
would.
might be nice to be
serve it.
there. And again, if people have transportation issues, then they won't have to worry about how to get here.
My only concern with having the meeting here as opposed to there is that we have all of the technology here to record or stream or.
They were doing Zoom meetings from St. John's when they did
Okay.
their meetings, so
As long as
maybe we
that's
can just
not
look at it.
I'd be happy to check into it. My concern from they had one bigger room that we were using originally for the meetings. That room is under construction at the
Okay.
moment. So they had been helping us with a smaller room. I have a concern by the time we put this group in,
With
plus
guests.
the city staff, plus
Okay.
some guests, that it might not be large
Okay.
enough to comfortably use that facility. But we can certainly look into it if that's.
Yeah, I would
Is
just,
it the Undercroft? Is that where you guys were having? Was
Yeah.
it the Undercroft that you guys were having
No, it was the
meetings
back
before?
area by the, I think they'd used it as a school at one point, and there was some drop-offs back there, but it is a considerably smaller facility than what we had originally been using, and so I just bring that up. 'cause it
yeah,
might be a
maybe just check in,
concern.
and if it might be available now and we could Zoom, great. If not, then we can do it here. I was just thinking about people's accessibility.
I would think that the Undercroft there would be a large enough space. I mean, they use it for bingo. and
Yeah,
all that.
but it was closed.
I think that might
don't
be
know if
still under
that's not available.
construction, but
Yeah.
I might have changed since the last time we dealt with that.
I had a question about workshops in general. Do we ever take minutes or have, I mean, we've done a lot of workshops without recordings or any minutes whatsoever. What are the regulations on that?
I hesitate to speak because I've only been in Ohio in a short time. I guess you probably should have minutes, but what the minutes are, I mean, they could be very compressed or they could be detailed. It all depends on the minute taker. So sometimes the minutes, depending on who you are, don't give a lot of detail on discussion, and then it's primarily the action taken. So if there's no action taken, the question would be how much detail would you give to the discussion other than a discussion was had? So
I think we did have minutes. I'm flashing back to a couple workshops and I remember seeing,
Without Amy here, I don't know if we best answer the question.
The one that comes to mind specifically, and I think of over and over, is the one about citizen comments. We had that workshop about, I think it was actually Jim's first meeting with us, what council wanted to get out of citizen comments. And it was kind of a heavy topic meeting that obviously pertains to the citizens a lot, and there's no record of it. And I keep thinking about that over and over. I'm like, there's no record of that meeting at all anywhere.
I'm under the impression that Ms. Skank takes some notes, but perhaps that might be a better item addressed when she gets back into
Yeah.
town, and we can have that conversation with her and we'll discuss
Yeah,
what the
yeah,
process
absolutely.
is.
Yeah. Yeah, let's make sure we do that the next.
Will do.
Okay.
On the 9th and 10th, for my schedule, it would be best if we could do it during the workday, because I have some things that evening already planned, and if I have to move something, I could move something on the 10th, but my preference would be during the workday, but I don't know if that's doable for
I think for the work session, I don't have any problem being
This is
here
the
at
executive
5:30.
session, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's more appropriate for that, but yeah, my schedule is flexible on the 10th, and if it.
And it would be exclusively executive session, so we don't necessarily have to be accommodating the public, so I'm just concerned to accommodate all of your schedules, so, yeah, if we need to do it earlier, certainly, that's not a problem at all.
I'm available during the workday.
Me too.
I'm unavailable from 1500 to 1630, or 3 to 4:30. That's the only other thing I can't do on that day.
Sounds like a morning meeting.
We could do that. So you just establish it and we'll hold it. You tell us the time.
Okay, anything else?
Is there a particular time if we
Oh, are
decide?
we trying to do that now? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess, yeah, without.
My bad, okay.
The 10th, I have OKI at 10:30, and then I think we're going to have the port at 2.
We were going to try to do the port at 2, yeah, if we can.
Do we want to have it after the port meeting so that we're abreast of what's going on there?
The port meeting, really, the only purpose for the port meeting is to update them as well. They are also going to do it in executive session.
Noon? You could do noon? Back-
I can do
I could do
noon.
noon. It might be tight, but I can make it for the vast majority of it.
If you do noon, we could probably get you lunch.
Yeah.
Good job, Tal.
Why don't we call it for noon in this room?
Noon.
We'll
Okay.
take care of that.
On the 10th. Great.
And do we
And then
set the Oakland time?
Right, that's a good idea.
I was assuming 5:30 on the Oakland one, unless
Look-
you have a different one. Yeah. Okay, noon the 10th then, and Port Authority is likely then at 2. Perfect, thank you.
Okay. So with that being said, we will adjourn until Tuesday, June 8th at 5:30 PM, followed by Thursday, June 10th at noon, followed by our next actual council meeting is Tuesday, June 15th at 5:30 here. Until then, blue skies over Middletown.
Thank you.
All the meetings. Wow. Oh.
Thank you, ma'am.